Hi guys, Mom and Kid here, coming to you again, back again with my top 25 cartoon villains. I'm sorry it's taking so long. This is very hard to do, believe it or not, but I'm here to give the next 5, and I hope you guys enjoy, and let's keep this moving. Yeah, so let's keep it moving. Number 20. Number 20, guys, is Vilgax from the Ben 10 series. I loved Vilgax when he first appeared. He was really imposing looking. That's why I'm using his first look. And, you know, he really seemed to have a hold over the Tennyson family. Like, he knew Ben's grandfather when he was part of the Plumbers and everything like that. So when they met again, it was just like, Tennyson, you know, like my mortal enemy. And you know, even when Ben would transform into his different aliens, you know, Vilgax was able to handle him. It was really impressive. I was like, okay, the guy just looked really imposing. But over time, like, he became like the main antagonist. But then over time, it was like Ben just really sometimes would mop the floor with you know, Vilgax, and I was just like, okay, he's not as imposing as he was when he first came out. Number 19, Alpha, Agent A. Now, yeah, he's from the Men in Black series, and yes, Men in Black was a comic series before it became an animated series and a movie. But you know, I'm improvising here a little bit, little leeway here with this one. But I loved Alpha in the Men in Black animated series. He was the main antagonist of that show. He was a former MIB agent. He was also the mentor to K, excuse me. But unfortunately, he got twisted and greedy, and he started to collect alien parts and amputated them to himself, became power hungry, things like that, wanted to conquer the world, you know, the universe and everything. The actor who voiced him was none other than David Warner. He voiced him. He did a very good job as always, and you know, it was just magic to watch him on. Even when he came back as a cyborg, it still was great. Number 18, Ezekiel Rage. Yes, from The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. Very sympathetic villain, guys. But he's still a villain, but still you sympathize with him a lot. He was a spy that his cover was compromised when he was on a mission, and his family also surprised him when he was on that mission. And in that twist, his family was killed, and we thought he was killed. His cover was blown, basically. They supposedly died in a car crash, but he survived, but he's completely burnt underneath that skin. And he's always going on about the Book of Rage, like he's a prophet, and he's gonna bring the world, basically because he blames the government for getting his family killed, in a sense, because he asked for help, but his government was like, we can't have an international incident. So pretty much he swore vengeance on them, like, look, if you don't get my family out of it, because he kept saying negative Raven, negative, that was their code name. I have hatchlings with me, basically compromising his families with me, and they still were against it. And when Dr. Quest and Johnny and them met him, and when they finally got to see what's inside the book, it's nothing but pages, but there's a picture of his family in there. So he's kind of sympathetic, but still he makes my list. Number 17, guys. Number 17. Here we go. Kleis. Kleis. Yeah, you hear the music. If you hear the music, that's it. I love his theme. Kleis from Generator Rex was the uber main antagonist of the series. Even though there are other villains in there, but Kleis was the Magneto, in a sense, of the Generator Rex series. Once again, he pretty much was like Magneto. He felt that the humans were the past, evils are the next evolution, and like Rex could heal evils, Kleis could create evils. And when him and Rex would go at it, it was just always epic. And it was always like he knew a lot more about Rex's past than Rex does, and his family and everything like that. So that also had a lot of stigmata with the relationship, but I loved it. And number 16. Yeah, Soundwave. Not one of many Decepticons you'll see on this list. I love Soundwave. I've always loved him. I love his G1. I am a child of the 80s. How many times I gotta say it? But I love saying it. I grew up with Soundwave, and I love his G1 look. Soundwaves was the intelligence expert, pretty much, of the Decepticons. He was the one that would get all the information, you know, for the Decepticons and cools like that. He's probably one of the most recognizable characters of the original Transformers. You know, his robot, you know, mode, as well as his Transformer mode was a micro cassette recorder where he can just pretty much, you know, record everything. He was pretty much able to detect and jam transmissions, you know, things like that. All his talents were suited for him, and he was like the communications officer. And of course, his famous voice was really kind of robotic, and things like that was always cool. But of course, he also had like these other spy characters he would jettison out of him, like Ravage, deploy, Rumble, deploy, you know, or Laserbeak, you know, things like that. There were other characters he had, like Buzzsaw, Razorbat, Frenzy, Slugfest, Overkill, people like that. They were really cool. I always loved him. I love his look now in, you know, Transformers Prime, and he proves it's the quiet ones you gotta watch out for, because he is deadly. He is dangerous, and even more deadlier than, I say, his G1 counterpart. I love Soundwave really much. He proves the quiet ones you definitely got to watch out for. So there you go, guys. I gave you 20 to 16. I hope you guys enjoyed these next 5. I will be back next Sunday with the next 5. So that will be 15 to 10, and we'll see who's on that list. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the next my top 25 cartoon villains, and I will see you guys next time. And this is Mom Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys. As always, take care.